Hey guys, and welcome back to Frontboards and Four Baggers. This is episode 14. I'm Eddie with Cornhole Bag Reviews, and we got Corbin from Corbins Cornhole Reviews. A little bit of a hiatus for the holidays. We took a couple weeks off to hang out, but we are back in the new year. Happy 2022 to everybody, and we're ready to make way too many of these episodes this year. But today we got kind of another interesting company, a smaller company that I think you're going to start hearing a lot about, which is Crazy 8 Cornhole, as well as we're going to kind of go over, Corbin did a little video of this, and I had my top 10 this year, but we're going to do kind of a discussion of what are the top 3 or 4 bags we're using right now and why, and you know what scenarios are we using them and for our current arsenals kind of thing. So we'll start off with the Crazy 8 Cornhole Dominators. So I know I have the rainbow set. I think you have the red and blue. Yeah, I had the red and blue at one point, but
I had the rainbow.
Yeah. So I got the rainbow set. We're looking at like a 4.59 speeded 4.5 carpet with that Pro Sniper Viper fast side, very similar to a Tango. If you've thrown Tangos, that's what I would say I'd compare it to, maybe a little bit less of a bouncy Tango. The bead is still kind of like a small bead, maybe small disc a little bit, but but it's definitely a full bag. I mean, mine are fully broken in, and they still got that big handle on them. Very similar to a WTF, to a BG, something like that in terms of the puffiness. And you're looking at $88 shipped. I think he's doing some just release drops right now, whatnot, but it's from Crazy 8 Cornhole's Facebook page. Dan Sherlock is the guy who makes an awesome bag. So what is your opinion on his carpet bag, the Dominator?
I like him quite a bit. When Dan first reached out to me, he knew how much I love Tangos, and he was like, I got something for you. And he sent me, this is actually my third set of Crazy 8 Dominators specifically. The first set was a lot more square. He had changed his template. So this is the newer template. You have the newer template as well. I got him before his template was even changed. Super square. It was when he was brand new. They played really well though, and I liked them, but it's just something about them, and then he goes, I need to send you the new stuff. So he sent me the rainbow ones, which I absolutely love that bag. A little bit puffy, it took a lot to break in. You know that. I mean, we've talked about this for hours. They take a lot to break in. I mean, they're just like Tangos. They take a ton to break in if you want to get them where they need to be. But I absolutely loved that set. I ended up gifting them to a friend. He had never had Crazy 8s, always wanted them. So he's having a baby. Here's a baby gift. I sent him a set of bags. And then I knew Dan was sending these to me as well. This was his newer fill option. So mine are a little thinner than yours.
These are the new fill. These are the new fill.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay. They still look puffier than these ones. Maybe they're not, but they look puffier.
Maybe. But this is the new fill for sure. Because I had his old fill as well, which was the red and blue ones, and those were even bigger than those. So
no, I definitely like how they play. That fast side, if you can control it, it is stupidly hole friendly. It will go anywhere you need it to. The slow side, it'll cut, it'll flop, it'll roll, it'll stop when you need it to, and it still remains hole friendly. So I really, really like this bag. If I wasn't such an ACL player, this would be in my bag constantly.
Mm-hmm. And then, and so it is not, neither of his bags are stamped. I know he was talking about it, thinking about looking at it for next year to get in the stamping. But, I don't play as many ACL events. I was talking about this in a video I recorded recently that I'd say probably 90 to 95% of our viewer base and Cornhole in general do not play ACL events in terms of, you probably have bags that are stamped because most of them are, but in terms of you going to an ACL Open, ACL Regional, that's a very small subset of the community. So in my opinion, I throw a lot of bags that aren't stamped. We'll get into that when we talk about our arsenals that we throw. But this is really one of the only carpet bags that I'm comfortable taking out and throwing in an event personally.
They're nice.
I feel like it's very friendly if you aren't super flat, like comparative for a puffy carpet. So if I compare it to a WTF or a BG, right? If you're not super flat, those things are really kicky, really bouncy. These still bounce, roll, cut super easily, but I found that it was, of the puffy rolling carpets, the most friendly of the puffy rolling carpets, in my opinion. I personally, and I've talked about this multiple times in reviews, I really need the fast side to be this fast on a big puffy carpet bag because I want to be able to throw nice and easy, focus on being flat in my line and push through things, sneak in holes. I don't want to have to be like whipping my arm, which then, messes with my bag a little bit like I have to with some slower carpet bags. So And now that these things are broken in, you brought that up a little bit. I mean, I bet you these are 30 hours thrown minimum in, plus conditioner, wrinkle guarded twice, tumbled for like 10 hours. I mean, my feeling of the bag now is it's a new bag compared to when I got it. It doesn't feel even remotely close to when you first get it. Both materials are like almost like they're like thin. They like finally have broken down and they've lost enough thread over time that they're thin enough that they feel better. But now they're just so great to throw. Very, very surprising. It's now, I mean, on my top 10 list, it was my number one carpet bag of the year that I've tried because of the reasons that I said. I just think it's a forgiving, hole-friendly carpet that blocks. It's a huge template to block with, pushes super well, cuts and rolls super easily, airmail drags like nothing. Very similar to your super broken Tangos, but I found these just one ticks more friendly than the Tangos in terms of kicking. So really, really happy with the bag. Usually when I talk about small companies that are creating bags, like when people reach out to me and they're like, hey, this is the kind of bag I'm making, I even recommended them. I probably would stay away from carpet for a little bit because carpet's so hard to make a good one and so easy to make a bad one because it's just of the type of carpets. And so for this being his first bag he released, it's a really solid carpet bag.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So very happy with that. And the price point isn't too bad. And Dan's a great guy. So Crazy 8 Dominators, I definitely love them. And I know you really love them too if they were stamps.
Yep. They're awesome.
The next bag we'll get into is his newest bag, and he actually has two of the same version. I have both. Corbin just has the one, but we're looking at the Crazy 8 Annihilator. So the Annihilator Light. So you can see the little word light on here. The only difference between the two is if you could see the purple one's like a big templated bag, the red one's just a little bit smaller. So a little fuller, a little bit less floppy. I actually, in my review of these, this is the exact same materials and template as the Fire Heat. This is the exact same materials as template as my 710 Amnesias that I really like, right? So if that gives you a feel, if you've tried the Fire Heat, they're a little bit smaller and these are a little bit more floppy. I find I like the bigger, floppier bag more. I've been throwing so many floppy bags. I just really like floppy just so I feel it a little more hole friendly. But let me get into the stats real quick. But 7.9 speeds, so that's similar to Fire Heat and Amnesia. That 7-speed slow side, it's actually the backside of the Pro Sniper material. Feels very similar to like a Viper without the dots, but a little bit less soft. And then the fast side is that Pro Sniper Viper, and then the disc fill again, $88 ship, same as the Dominators with releases. So I personally really like this bag. I like super fast bags. I can throw super fast bags. So it's very similar to my Amnesias, which I love my Amnesias. They're just a really solid, hole friendly. They feel good. Both these materials I really like. And the perks with these crazy fast materials, they don't take that long to break in. I think I just did a hot water soak and tumble and they're good to throw. I mean, they're so fast and so flat. I mean, this is just with barely any work and a little bit of tumbling. Yeah, I mean, and you did wrinkle guard on yours, I believe, right?
I did.
Yeah. But even with wrinkle guard, those didn't get tacoed out, right? They just softened up a good amount, you know? And
it was an experiment.
Yeah. But
it actually was.
I like how they play. I mean, this is definitely a high humidity bag. I mean, if you're throwing indoors, like it's tough. I've been reviewing a lot of faster bags, and right now in the winter with like cold air and indoors, the boards are so fast. It's like I don't even care if you like throwing fast bags. It's just too fast. Like you can't throw it. But if I compare this to my Amnesias that I was throwing all summer and fall, when the sun goes down and that humidity comes out, both these materials cut through it like nothing. Holy mackerel.
Yeah, you can tackle it.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the lights. So the lights like don't really, I mean, they're a lot thicker. Like they just have chunkier sections to them. Yeah.
Yep.
But they have great hand feel. So I mean, I know you're more of a fast bag guy. What was your initial experience when you're trying them out?
I'm a fast bag guy.
Carpet bag guy. Carpet bag guy. I'm the fast bag guy.
About me. Yeah. 14 episodes and you don't even know me.
What's your name?
Eddie, I'm the best.
What a good name, man.
It's a pretty good name. No, I actually like this bag quite a bit. I mean, I say that about most bags, right? I haven't really found many bags I hate. What I like about this bag, number one, comes from Crazy 8. Dan is such a nice dude. They're high quality. I purchased this set because he said he was doing a drop, and I'm like, I want to support. Let's go. So I got them in the mail, and I'm like, that's pretty big template and that's already pretty floppy. I don't really know how to handle this.
Sure. Yeah.
Corbin
can't control this scenario.
Yeah. I don't know what to do right now. So I was like, you know what? Let's just see what happens. I tossed them in the wash with wrinkle guard, tumbled them, whatever. And they actually came out really, really nice. Like that's not overly floppy. I mean, if you just flop them over, it's not wild. And actually I did already review these. The video will be coming out in a couple of weeks here. But I was throwing indoors. It was like 62 degrees, obviously humidity, like almost non-existent. Right. Mm-hmm. And I started throwing them. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. Let's change my throw for a second here.
Good thing I have
20-foot
ceilings.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's how I was doing mine.
So I just started lofting a little bit more though. And man, I tell you what, either side gets near that hole, bloom right in. I mean, and they are controllable, honestly.
Oh yeah.
The 7 is not that bad. The 9 that's speedy, but it's definitely a push 9. You're not just playing it unless you're, a pro that loves a fast side. But I really like how they play. I'm curious to play the light as well. But I think I might be similar to you where I kind of like the slightly larger template because it just on a faster bag, I think a larger template helps you.
Yes.
It's the floppiness is nice and it's just, it's more conducive to going toward the hole, and why have a crazy fast bag and then have it be really full.
And that's where I was at with, so like, let's compare the fire incinerator, the fire heat, right? So like very similar in speeds, but small template versus big all slide game changer template that the incinerators are. And if the bags are slow, we got 4.7, 4.8, that kind of stuff. I think the big template really punishes you because it hangs up so much. It takes up so much of the hole. When you get this fast, it's like, well, now it kind of just grabs the hole and falls in because it really doesn't hold up because the materials are so quick. And I bring up the incinerator because if you've thrown the incinerator, this is similar to that, but with rounded corners instead of square. I find this has a nicer hand feel than the fire incinerator.
Yeah, it feels good.
The incinerator is like an all slide, very, very sharp corners in the hand. So this is like that nice rounded corner. But I like the big template just because I'm like, if I'm already throwing something this quick, it just needs to get near the hole. Yes, the small ones, I found that the lights airmail better because I like airmailing a smaller bag. I think it's just easier to fit in. But the big floppy Annihilators, you'll see in my review, I think I threw them side by side and I threw like a 10 PPR in the video. I mean, they're just so easy to throw. I just got them near the hole and it was like, oh, okay. Well, they just go in every time.
Yeah. They're a nice bag. If you're a quick bag thrower, if you like Vipers or something like that and don't want to drop Viper money and don't really need to worry about a stamp, 100% recommend these. I mean, graphics are sick and they play really nice. They're high quality. They're a good bag. And that slow side, I love the way it feels.
Yeah, and be on the lookout soon.
Not a normal 7 that I love, but I love this slow side.
Yeah, and be on the lookout soon because I know there's another carpet bag coming soon from him. So, nice. And he seems very excited for this carpet bag the same way that he was with the Dominator. So I'm sure we'll be seeing some more stuff coming from Crazy 8 soon. But if you haven't heard of Crazy 8, you should. It's another company made by one really good dude. Really cool designs, and then kind of getting a cult following, people starting to collect them. Even though he only has 2 lines out, people just really like both of his lines, and he's going to continue to come out with more bags. But the thing I really like about him and his company as a whole is he's not just pumping out bags with like, all right, I'm going to make a Surefire, I'm going to make a Pro Sniper, I'm going to make and pumping out bags. He's like, all right, I'm going to make the bag that I want to make, and I'm going to take a long time to figure out what bags. That's why he only has 2 lines, and he's like, I'm not going to make any more bags until I'm like, I know that this bag is what I want it to do. And I think that's why the Dominator turned out so good and the Annihilator is good. It's just like, he's like, oh, this is a little bit too square. Let me round in the corners. Let me get a better fill. Let me do XYZ. A lot more testing to make sure that the bag he's putting out, he's like super happy with. So Dan's an awesome dude. And I just expect him to keep pumping out amazing bags. So,
yep, absolutely.
But so that's Crazy 8. I'll have the link down to their Facebook page below. But let's get into what are we throwing? So I know you made a little bit of a video that kind of popped off actually on YouTube about what are you throwing, and I kind of released my top 10 bags of 2020. But this is kind of what is exactly in our bag right now. If I'm in a tournament, what is coming out for what reason, and then I get to make fun of the bags you pick because they're all terrible, and then you can do the same.
Correct.
So why don't you go first? What is it? We'll start with number 4. So what is probably the bag that comes with you, but maybe gets used the least out of like your competitive bag?
Which is perfect description of it. And it's not to say that it's a bad bag.
Just gets used the
it's
least,
just I have 3 other contenders that I'm picking first, and it'll come as no surprise that those are all carpet. But this one is not. Shouldn't come as a surprise either. Got the Costellos.
Sure.
So if boards are playing stupid slow, if they're playing just sticky around the hole, if a normal slide shot is just stopping on the hole and not falling for me with carpet, depending on my opponent, maybe they're using carpet and doing a great job of muddying up the board and I can't get around that. It just depends. Costellos are coming with me. These things, we've talked about them 100 times. You know how I feel about Costellos. I mean, you got pro sniper slow, you got that surefire fast, you got a nice medium full hand feel. It's just a bag that anyone can throw. I mean, it's a great blind draw bag for me, but my partner also loves Costellos.
Sure.
So if the boards are starting to slow down a little bit, we decide carpet's not the way to go. Well, we're going to grab the Costellos and we're both super comfortable with them. I just love these bags. Hole friendly on both sides. They feel good. They play good. You can still do cuts and stuff like that if you need to.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just a nice playing bag. I can't really say enough about them. And we've talked them to death. I know that we have, but we both just love them. But those are coming in at number 4 for me. Just non-carpet, and I'm going to use carpet 99% of the time. But if the boards just get too gunky, I'm switching to Costellos and it's going to slide right through.
And I think, on that note, I'll do my number 4 is Costellos as well.
Yep.
Which might come to a surprise to a lot of you.
Terrible choice.
Yeah, which might come to surprise to a lot of you, which I'll explain why when we get to probably my number 2 bag as to why this is number 4. This will always be in my bag, only for the fact is, especially this exact one, because it's so broken in and so perfect that there's a lot of people around me that throw Costellos now and are really comfortable throwing Costellos. So, and if I'm with a new player that doesn't really throw a lot, I'll just throw these because it's super easy, super hole friendly. They don't kick. They don't do all this kind of stuff. I'd say this is either 4 or 3 for me. I'd say 3 is very in a similar boat as this. I really rock 2 sets, but these will always be with me for a lot of those reasons. New players, I always bring these out. And my partner really likes this for our fast bag. If you like a floppier bag, mine are stupid floppy. So I like throwing these. So Costellos, we've talked about it a million times, but Costellos will always be with me. I feel like I know you're sponsored by them. I'm not sponsored by them, and I still talk about them like I'm sponsored by them because I just really like the bag.
They're just that good.
Yeah. So we'll I don't need much more to say about that because you've already killed the Costello, but we'll go
jump into number 3.
Yeah. So my number 3 is, we actually have talked about it in this video. So it is the Crazy 8 Dominator. The reason this is my number 3 is because if I throw with someone who likes to throw carpet, this is what I ask to throw, because in my opinion, I love throwing other carpets. I have BG Mercs and Vikings behind me that I throw every single time I go warm up, because in my opinion, it helps me figure out how's my throw doing today, because I need to be flat. But if I'm in an event, I could block and push with these all day. I could throw, you guys know I really like throwing cut shots. I can throw cuts super easily with this. I can roll if I need to, but the reason I like these is because I can block and push super easily. And then my partner, who's really good with carpet, can still throw the roll shots very easily with this, right? So it's a nice middle ground where I don't have to be so zoned in that I'm perfectly flat, but they can still manipulate it the way they need to, which is why it's in my bag. I really like the versatility of the bag with a lot of players. I know we talked about it this video already. I just like them that much. They're the carpet bag that kind of comes with me and that I have people try out if they like carpet. So that's my number 3.
They're a great bag. Great bag. If I didn't need a stamp, you were saying, 90% of our viewers don't really need stamps, whatever. 90% of my events do.
Yeah. And if we were talking purely stamp, I'm throwing Mercs.
Sure.
Similar to
I just wanted to throw it in there because, a lot of your bags might not be stamped and every single one of mine will be.
Sure.
Literally every blind draw that I go down to now is an ACL blind draw. So it's
you
just,
guys have to
there's so much.
Stamp at your blind draw too?
Technically, if it's an ACL event, yeah.
Oh, really? Well, and
it's a matter of how policed it is.
Sure.
I don't really see a problem with not using it, but if it's an ACL blind draw, you're supposed to use ACL bags.
And I'll go over at the very end. I'll say if I had to remove my non-stamps, what I would use, because I have those too, and they're with me. But me and you both bring 6-7 sets. But yeah,
of course.
So what's your number 3? Your least used carpet, I guess.
It's funny that you. It's funny you pull out Dominators because I pull out their ACL rival of Tangos.
Yeah, sure.
So that's going to be my number 3. You guys know Tangos. You know how I feel about them. They're kind of my baby blanket. It's not necessarily going to be my first choice because they're very board condition dependent. If the boards are playing a little bit too quick, I am not going to touch these because the carpet will just keep sliding and drop in. It's not going to stop where I want it to. So it's not going to be my absolute first choice, but they always come with me and I always throw them in warm-ups like you're saying with, your Vikings, your Mercs, whatever. I always throw in warm-ups just to see how I'm feeling that day. And if they feel great, I might actually throw them. I like them because of their blockability. They're a crazy good blocker. They're a puffy bag. Fast side is so fast it can slide through anything. But I love just how active they are on the boards. They will flop, cut, roll. They do whatever you want them to. If I am really on that day and my opponent's laying blocks and I can just flop right over them, no problem. I mean, Tangos are the choice for that day. If my throw feels really good, I just love them. So they're just a good bag. They're always with me and they're getting used quite a bit still.
Yeah, and maybe they're not fully broken in yet because I don't know. Those Tangos that you sent me were slow, like solid.
Oh, yours are nuked, but also this is the white carpet.
True.
White carpet plays just a touch quicker.
True.
That is part of it.
And I guess I haven't talked to you about this either. Have you noticed any difference from the comp stamp to the Tango Pro? Like slight differences? So
I actually get asked that quite frequently. The big difference is the Tango Pro is a little bit quicker overall. Not really dependent on carpet color. I've heard that from multiple people. I do have the white, which white plays quickest no matter what.
Sure.
But the regular carpet is just a touch quicker. And the overall bag is just a little bit thinner. The profile is not quite as bulky. And I don't know if that's partially due to the fill or whatever, maybe they removed a little bit of fill. I mean, they still come out as puff balls when you get them, but once they're broken in, because these are pretty well there. Yeah. I mean, they're not where yours are, but they're definitely playable. But they're just touch quicker, touch thinner. That's really the only difference that I've noticed between comp and pro. But yeah, Tangos, they're always with me and I play them quite frequently still.
All right, sir, your numero dos. So this is now we're getting into what are we actually probably rotating through on a normal night if we got to pick.
And 2 and 1 are they're so close that it's hard to pick. Sure. Honestly, they're both, you can call them both a 1.5.
Sure.
Because they're right there. And this is actually a new bag for me. Killshots Phantom Gen 3.
Ooh, look at you.
Yeah, they're nice. They are awesome. They're a 5.9 speed, so just like the Tangos. The reason I like them is because they're not quite as active as the Tangos.
Sure. So almost like a Dominator, but stamped.
Kind of. But a different feel in the hand, too. They have a really, really nice fill. It's mostly disc, but it's got a little asymmetrical mixed in there.
Okay.
Overall template is just a little bit larger like the Tango. Feels nice. Flop is pretty good. And these aren't fully broken in by any means. But, I mean, we played 2 or 3 tournaments with them.
Sure.
But they're definitely playable. The carpet is perfect. It slides in nice and hole friendly still, but definitely active. I mean, I can flop these without much of an effort. I just really, really like how they play. That fast side is the 9 that's on the Tango. Mm-hmm. Cuts through anything, slides around, drops in. And it's one of those grabbable bags. It's hanging on the hole just like Tangos are. Tangos, Dominators, whatever, they're hanging on the hole. You throw it, dink. You're pulling them in. I just really like how they play. Super minimal kick and block, roll, push. I mean, it's just a really nice bag for my setup.
So do you know if I haven't, for all the Killshots throwers out there, is that Canon carpet or is it a new carpet? So, okay. So then that pairing is Canon with P90 fast.
Correct.
If you were to look at a Killshots.
Yep. Combo. Yep. If you're looking from Killshots combo. Yep. So that is Canon carpet with P90 fast. I do have Canons. My Canons feel a little bit different. I don't know if it's red carpet compared to this gray.
Sure.
But the carpet does feel a little bit different, and the overall template of the Canon is a little bit smaller. So that's also part of it. So slightly larger template, slightly bigger fill in this, and I just really like how it plays.
I got that with Mercs too. Like I had white Mercs that I just traded, and I got gray carpet Mercs, and my gray carpet is like soft and big almost, and my white carpet was like Viking tight. Thin. I was like, this doesn't even feel like the same bag. But yeah, I mean, it could be a million different things when it comes to carpet. But my number 2 bag, and the reason that my Costello is not in the top 2 is because I throw these now, is my Enigmas. I love my 710 Enigmas.
Figured you might pick the Enigmas.
Yeah, it's not just for the design, but the design is disgustingly cool and a good reason why I use it. But no, it's the same slow side as Costello with Pro Sniper Viper fast side. So it is a Pro Sniper in terms of material combo, but this is like very broken in, and that's way less full broken in than my Costellos or my P9 or my Pro Snipers. Like it's like a fuller Pro Sniper. And here's why Costellos is in the top 2, because I still use Costellos. I would say I have 3 because I'd probably go like my number one bag, which we'll talk about in a second. But this bag is like my transition. The Enigma is like my transition period because Costellos are actually a tick faster because they're a little thinner than these Enigmas, where like I'll get Costellos on the board and I'm missing deep. And these Enigmas I could still lay blocks with, even though it's like, so like that transitional period is kind of why I've been using these. I really like the hand feel of them a lot. Like the materials just feel really good. I talk about this sometime, but that fast side Surefire material, which is the same as the Viper on the flip side, whatever, depending on what distributor you get, because it's a very common material that every company's using. Some are like scratchier and crunchier than others, or a little smoother, right? So depending on what company gets from what distribution, I think they feel better. In my opinion, he has the really soft version, which feels really nice in the hand. Similar to, I had a set of Gen 1 Killshot P90s that I thought felt very similar. Really soft feeling 9 side, which I really like.
Yes.
But yeah, Roy at 710, these bags are flipping sweet. They're hard to get. They're hard to get right now. He's going to start doing releases, but they're becoming like a 724 to me, where it's like one dude in his basement that just makes a killer bag, and he like knows how to design. So it's quickly becoming one of my favorite bags to throw. And I think once we get into springtime, when the humidity actually is a factor in Minnesota and we're not indoors all the time, these will get played all the time. Like all the time for me. Yeah. Similar to why my Costellos got played all the time. But my number one bag, no surprises.
I knew it. As soon as the Enigma was your number 2, I knew your number 1.
Lucky bag Surefire. I mean, I just ordered another set like of 2020s.
Dude,
like
they're good bags.
I know. That's the thing is like it's funny too, because in my vlog someone commented, because I was like, I hate to say it, but we're using Surefires and they're playing good. And someone comments and goes, "Why do you hate on Surefire so much?" And I'm like, I'm only hating on them as like a joke, because it's like, because everybody throws Surefires, but they're just good. I don't know. Like I've tried.
They are.
I like Blackwaters. I like All Slide 2.0s. I like Typhoons. But it's just. It's 2 reasons. One, they're really nice. They play really well. They're super hole friendly. They're controllable on fast boards. They have a nice push side. Second reason, literally everyone knows how to throw them. So when I play in a blind draw, it's just like, oh, they're like, what do you want to throw? And I'm like, do you want to throw Surefires? Sure. Like it's never like, oh, I don't know what that is.
It's a comfortable
try
bag.
it out. Yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, we all know how to throw Surefires. My partner knows how to throw Surefires. I was like on the I won't throw Surefires line for like a while, and my partner's just like, well, this is what I'm comfortable throwing, and I'm like, fine, I'll learn how to throw them. And since learning how to throw them, I'm just like, well, I guess this is what I'm using all the time now. So it is definitely my number 1 thrown bag for multiple reasons. 1, by my choice. 2, by everyone in my area's choice. It's just blind draws is what we use. It's what everyone uses.
But only the 2021 stamp.
2020 stamp.
2021.
Yeah. Not the 2022. It's funny.
2020/2021.
So obviously there's, for the last like month or two, the 2020 sets, you've been able to find used sets for like 60, 70, $80. Like people just dumping them. I released my top 10 video where I said the 2020 Surefire is my bag of the year. I can't find any now. They're just
$100.
They're just gone. I'm like, or I see someone post some, and then every comment's now like, how much for the Surefires? And I'm like, no one wanted Surefires like 2 weeks ago. Like what the heck's going on?
Now they all do.
But I said I didn't like the 2021s, and now all of a sudden everybody wants the 2020s. But in my opinion, like the way that I look at it is, 2 months ago, Lucky went through that fiasco where they had the wrong fill and they had to replace orders, which they did replace all their orders. And now if you've heard, like if you order, like they're sending out orders, like you get in like a week now. So they're a lot quicker on the time frame. But in my opinion, the 2020 versions of the bag were the version that came out before they got huge, before the backlog became a month, before like people were charging up the yin yang, and like all what you saw August and September, where it was like you couldn't find them and they were $120, $150. These were the version that came out right before that boom. And I think they just are slightly nicer before the mass production. Like, I don't know if they had only one person making them, one company making them, and now they've gone to a couple to keep up with demand. But it's just, I just haven't found the consistency in the quality of the bag since the new one came out. I would say though, I'm stoked that I'm getting Super Bag Bros ones because the design is so boring. I'm like for how good of a bag it is, I'm like, man, I wish there was cooler designs. Just text.
That's fair.
But
it's fair.
But yeah, number one bag of the year, or number one bag currently still right now, Surefire. It could change. I was saying in my top 10 video, I can't wait for the company that finds the next Surefire material, like the next material that everyone wants to copy.
Sure.
Right? Because because I mean, obviously every company and their mom uses this slow side now. So
Yes.
I'm just waiting for the next one of those to pop up. And then who
waiting
knows?
for the next material.
Yeah, who knows? Next summer, I think this summer was the summer of the Surefire, and then I think next summer could be the summer of the who knows what. I mean, I definitely think that there's a lot of room in the space for that, but right now that's my most used bag. So I know what yours is too because we've narrowed it down. But what's your number one?
You probably do.
What's your number one?
It's so good.
I know you like them.
Striped pink dolphin. That's gonna be number one right now, and it's a tie between this and the Young Guns Menace.
Sure. Are they very
use
similar?
the same carpet.
Yeah, okay.
It's the same carpet with the same fill. The only difference is this fast side is a 7 and the Menace is an 8.
Okay,
and if I'm using these, it's because the boards are already a little bit quick, and that 8 will punish me.
Sure.
So just with my throw, I tend to miss pushes and stuff. Sometimes if I ricochet off on this, the fast side will still stay on the back. With the Menace, later, sure. It is gone. So as of now, the striped pink dolphin is number one. I actually have a custom set coming in now. I'm super excited about that because I like them that much. The carpet is incredibly soft. I give it like a 3 to 4 7 speed. It's one of those bags. Depending on conditions, carpet is incredibly soft, plays really, really nice. It's still hole friendly. That fast side is also incredibly soft, plays really nice, hole friendly, controllable. That's the big thing for me. They collect really well. They push well. They block amazing. The only downfall on them, and this is why I go between these and Phantoms, these are a little harder to manipulate. Just cuts. I mean, cuts you can still cut, but rolls and flops, they're just a little bit more difficult. It's because of that disc fill.
Yep.
And I know that the Phantom also has that, but the Phantom materials aren't quite as soft, so they don't absorb that hit. Sure. I kind of feel like sometimes when I throw these, I just have to put a lot of extra anglish on them to get them to flop and roll. And they still will. Don't get me wrong. If you're a connoisseur of flaps and rolls, you will have no issue.
Sure.
I'm still in the learning stages.
Incinerators.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. You got Eric Davis, you got, what's his name? Tony Smith.
No Wooten. Yeah.
You got guys like that their bread and butter is flopping and rolling and just doing stupid stuff. Duncan Clemmer, they're going to do all that stuff.
Have you seen Tony Smith's new shot?
No.
It's called the lift bag. So let's say you got a blocker, right? And like the hole is like right here. So you have a little bit of room. Instead of rolling, he'll throw it where it lands and one side goes up, goes over the bag and goes in. So it just barely lifts over. But it's like
I've actually done that.
I know, but like he does it on purpose. Like it's like it doesn't start tumbling, it just goes over the bag.
That's my open board cut is what I call it.
There you go.
Because I can't really throw a cut. Yeah. I mean, it's like if I have a bag in front of the hole and I don't want to flop, I just want to kind of get around it. I will throw a little bit to the right of the bag and it does the same thing. I mean, it hits and it does lift up and sometimes it'll roll over to the other side, but it kind of lifts up and then falls in. So I know what you're talking about. It's stupid hard to do.
On purpose. Yeah.
Well, yes, on purpose.
The way I look at the pink dolphin, I look at it as a slightly thinner, more friendly Viking. Because it's the same fast side.
Oh man, there's so much different bags though.
Yeah, they are. But I'm saying like
they're wildly different to me.
Yeah, I'm saying if you had a Viking that didn't do the kicking and rolling, that would be just in terms of speeds and materials and with a softer carpet.
But it's got a little bit bigger template, which is what I like about it. I mean, it shares the same template as like the Phantom. I mean, it's just slightly bigger.
Sure.
It's not a puffball. They're very nice. And my Menaces are actually more floppy than this because of that surefire fast on the Menace. It just lets it fold right in half. No problem. There's no resistance to it. This Viking fast is, a little bit thicker, but I just love how they play. That's where I'm at right now.
And let's talk about
these and the Phantoms.
Talk about the price point. $60 new.
Oh yeah. Do we need to talk about that?
$60 new.
$60.
I mean, and I just recorded a video this morning, which, it won't be out yet, but it'll be out very soon after this podcast comes out, called Top 10 Budget Bags of 2021.
Nice.
Everything $60 and under. And
nice.
And those were on the list because I'm like, like for a nice carpet bag, especially like for someone who likes carpet like you, it being your like kind of one of your top used bags right now, at $60 pro stamped, which is just
that's the thing. $60 pro stamped. I mean, same with Young Guns Menace too. They're $60 pro stamped.
Yeah.
It's really hard to go wrong with
yet,
that.
So like,
no, they're awesome. I'll just have to send you a set. They're seriously, I don't care. They're ridiculous. I just like them. If the boards are a little quicker, I'm playing these. If the boards are a little slower, I'm playing the Phantoms.
Sure.
That's that's where it goes back and forth. And the Phantoms really surprised me. I did not think I was going to like them that much. And I started playing. I'm like, holy crap. Like that's a home run from Killshots.
Yeah, I'll have to look at it because normally Killshots, you know, I actually just reviewed their P90 and I pleasantly enjoyed the P90. Granted,
P90 is a really nice bag.
It's a pro sniper material, so I mean, it feels really nice to play with. But I'll have to try out their Phantom. But I talked about this a little bit before, and if I had to pick only pro stamp bags, like when I go play the ACL Open in Iowa in March, I'll be using Surefires, Costellos, and then probably Mercs if I was gonna bring a carpet, either Mercs or my X-rays. Foxtrots. I really like the WTF Foxtrots that I've gotten. But
you should get a set of Phantoms into your rotation before then and get those babies.
You don't even want to see how many bins are behind me on the floor with stuff that I.
Oh, I know. You don't have to tell me twice. You're preaching.
I know. I'll have to get a lot of things here. We've been rotating.
I'm just saying, those Phantoms are really, really nice.
You should just send each other a pallet. Just be like, all right, swap.
Oh, my gosh. Seriously, you'd probably save on shipping. Like, $200 freight, go.
I know. I did a bag sale. My shipping bill was like $120, and I'm like, this is ridiculous, man. It's like, all right, cool. 2 sets of bags to pay for the shipping for all these other sets.
Yes, that is the way it works, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
but no, there's a lot of really good bags right now, and I think this would be this will be a good topic to revisit. I'd say like halfway through the year. And we
can revisit in the middle of summer and see what happens.
Because I just think for how many bags we try, I just think there's got to be, or there will be ones that start to move the rotation.
Absolutely.
And stuff and that's why I like my top 10 bags like that'll. I've said in the video I bet you 70% of that's gonna change. I mean, it'll change. There's just too many bags coming out, and come February now, mid-season ACL stamping's coming out. So I already know of a bunch of like at least 5-6 companies that have a new line that they're releasing with this new ACL stamping. They're waiting for that to show up. So be on the lookout for a ton of new bags from a ton of companies just because that option is now opening. And there's still a lot of bags coming. If you go on ACL's, if you look up ACL Pro Stamp bags, there's an online list of all of the companies and what bags they have stamped on the ACL website. And there's like tons of bags that like haven't been released yet from some companies and whatnot. So like even the bags that have already been stamped, we're going to be seeing tons of releases.
We're going to be seeing more. Yeah.
So like to say that we have like, that we know all the bags is insane because there's so many to come still. So
many.
But so recap, you got Pink Dolphin, Phantom, Tango, and Costello, and I got Surefire, Enigma, Dominator, Costello. So we do have one commonality, which if the boards are sticky, we're going to win because we both could throw Costellos.
We basically have 2 commonalities, though, because Dominators and Tangos.
I could throw carpet if you want to throw carpet.
Well, and I can throw Mercs. I got no problem with Mercs. I'm telling you, once you throw these things.
All right.
They're special. I'm not lying. They're special.
Alrighty, well, that's what we got today. I think if you haven't checked out Crazy 8, I definitely think you should. I think they're going to
absolutely.
And he likes to say, get all aboard the Crazy 8 hype train. But I think he's just going to keep having good bags. The ones he already has out, I enjoy both the lines. They're both very different for 2 very different styles of player, which I think is cool. Or they transition into each other well in terms of speeds. But I think he's going to be releasing a slightly lower speed carpet, similar to a Pink Dolphin, that has a little bit less of that lightning fast side for the really quick boards. So be on the lookout for that coming out. But Crazy 8 Cornhole on Facebook and Dan Sherlock, crazy good guy, and he really supports the channel a lot. The channels a lot. So
both,
really appreciate him. So, and I believe we both have a review out for the Dominator. So I'll link both the Dominator reviews in the description, and then Annihilators. We both will have some coming out in the next month or two, probably whenever we get around to reviewing. So. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Sorry for the 3-week hiatus, but holidays, families, all that kind of stuff. But we'll be back on the podcast grind. We have a couple good guests lined up to come on. And if you guys have any topic ideas or questions or things you want asks, please put those down in the comments below. But we appreciate all your guys' continued support on all of our content, whether it's reviews, podcasts, vlogs, all that kind of stuff. But we hope to kick off the new year with a bang, and we appreciate you guys stopping by for the first episode of 2022. But hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.